There's a type of question that doesn't seek truth. It seeks control. And if you've ever felt that chill down your spine, that knot in your stomach, that sudden unease when someone asked you a question that sounded innocent, but felt strange, then this message is for you. Because liars don't just lie with words. They lie with silence, with gestures, and most of all, with questions. Twisted questions. Disguised, poisoned questions. Questions that don't want to understand you, but disarm you from within. And once you recognize them, you'll never see the world the same way again. So get ready. We're diving, no filters, into the dark side of manipulation. And we'll do it using the same tools the Stoics used to see through deception and remain unbreakable in a world full of masks. 1. Why are you so sensitive? This is an emotional grenade disguised as concern. It's not a question. It's an accusation wrapped in irony. What they're really saying is, I want to cross your boundaries, but I need you to feel guilty for noticing. As Seneca taught, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And that's exactly what this question is after. Getting you to imagine that you're exaggerating, that you're broken, that your perception is a weakness. But it's not. Sensitivity isn't fragility. Sensitivity is awareness. And there's no greater threat to a liar than someone who feels deeply, because that person detects the cracks before everything collapses. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "If someone can show me that I'm wrong, I'll gladly change, for it is the truth I seek." So ask yourself, is this person helping me grow, or just trying to make me question my senses? Next time someone throws you a "Why are you so sensitive?" breathe and respond calmly. I'm not sensitive. I'm observant. Does that make you uncomfortable? Watch how fast the mask falls. 2. You trust me, right? Sounds innocent, almost sweet, but behind it, there's a trap. Because anyone who demands trust instead of earning it is already lying. A trustworthy person shows you truth. A liar demands blind faith. This question is a subtle threat. It says, turn off your logic. Silence your instincts. Hand over your boundaries, just because I said so. But as Epictetus said, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. The liar uses this question to disarm your curiosity, to make you feel guilty for having doubts. Because the more questions you ask, the faster the lie crumbles. So instead of running to prove loyalty, apply the Stoic principle of apatheia, calm detachment. Don't react. Observe. If someone says, "You trust me, right?" slow down, breathe, and reply. Trust is built with consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment? They won't have an answer. They'll change the subject. They'll get defensive. Let them. 3. Are you accusing me of something? This is the liar's favorite misdirection. They turn your question into an attack. They flip the script. You were seeking clarity, now you're on the defensive. Suddenly you're explaining yourself, justifying yourself, apologizing for thinking. This question is designed to trigger panic. But here's where Stoic wisdom kicks in. The first step toward wisdom is knowing when to be silent. And silence for the Stoic is not surrender. It's strategic precision. This question doesn't deserve a yes or a no. It deserves a pause. If someone throws, "Are you accusing me?" at you, stop. Maintain eye contact. Hold that silence for 2 or 3 seconds, and then say, "Should I be?" Most of the time, they'll stammer. Because liars expect panic, not power. 4. Would I lie to you? This one is velvet-wrapped poison. It's not a question, it's theater. They want you to see them as incapable of deception, pure, noble, even offended that you would dare question them. But think about it. Why would someone ask that unless they know you're close to seeing the truth? As the Stoics would say, don't waste your life speculating about others. This question is a diversion. It invites you to fantasize, not to observe. Don't fall for it. Don't give them the answer they expect. Give them the one they need to hear. The next time someone says, "Would I lie to you?" pause and say, "That's not the question. The real question is, would I know if you did?" Liars operate in fog. You've just turned on a spotlight. 5. Can't we just move on from this? Translation: I don't want to be held accountable. This is the liar's final move, emotional exhaustion. They want you tired of thinking, of questioning, of seeking answers, not because there's clarity, but because you've run out of strength. And that's how they win. The Stoics knew this tactic well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The liar wants you to let it go before you connect the dots. Because if you stay just a bit longer, you'll begin to see the pattern. And once you see it, the game is over. So don't let them rush you. Truth has no expiration date. Respond calmly. I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before. That will rattle them. Because now, they can't move you. You're anchored in truth. Final warning. Liars don't just manipulate with phrases. They manipulate with feelings. They undermine your logic. Make you feel guilty for being cautious. Make you think you're cold for being rational. That you're overreacting for having standards. That you're difficult for wanting peace, real peace, not one built on forced silence. But understand this. You are not broken for having boundaries. You are not cruel for asking hard questions. You are not paranoid for seeking clarity. You are not too much for expecting coherence. You are awake, and the awake cannot be controlled. The Stoics didn't seek comfort. They sought clarity. They trained their minds to see through appearances. They understood a brutal truth. Those who see clearly are dangerous because they don't chase approval. They don't beg for loyalty. They don't explain their standards. And they cannot be seduced by empty flattery or false humility. So remember these 5 questions. Each one is a calculated chess move designed to blind you. But now, you know the game. You're no longer a pawn. You're a player. And players don't get sacrificed. Players win. Whenever something makes you uncomfortable, run this drill. Is this person seeking truth or control? Are they making me feel guilty for thinking? How would Marcus Aurelius respond to this? If I don't answer, who gets uncomfortable? Would I applaud this dynamic if it happened to someone I love? If it stings, trust it. If it knots your stomach, don't ignore it. Your instinct isn't broken. It's under attack. Liars feed off self-doubt. Stoics train to never flinch. And now, so can you. Not with rage, with awareness, not with attack, with steadiness. And that makes you powerful. Because if you can look a liar in the eyes and not flinch an inch, you've already won. Thank you for being here. If this message gave you strength, share it. You never know who needs to be reminded that their perception isn't wrong. It's alive.